Anyway, okay, so let me ask you some indirect questions, and then we'll look at the book. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to say I don't know. Let's see, Isadora. When did Columbus come to America? When did Columbus come to America?
I don't know when Columbus came to America.
That's right. That's right. Anybody remember that from school? Columbus?
1492, I think.
1492, October 12th, yeah. Right? October 12th, 1492. Columbus landed.
1492.
Yeah, 1492. That's right.
Long time ago.
Long time ago. That's right. That's right. All right. Rita, what is the capital of North Carolina?
I don't know what's the capital of North
Carolina. I don't know what the capital of North Carolina is. Right. Right. That's Raleigh, I believe, is the capital of North Carolina. All right. Let's see. Armando.
Yes, sir.
Who was the president during the American Civil War? Who was the president?
Know.
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, good answer. Okay. Extra points for Isadora.
I don't know who was. I don't know who the president. I don't know who the president was.
During the Civil War.
What was the next?
During the Civil War.
Oh, during the Civil War.
Right. Yeah. I don't know who the president was during the Civil War, but Isadora knows. Abraham Lincoln. That's right.
Abraham Lincoln. Oh, okay.
All right. All right. Let's see. Edith, are you ready?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. How many times have astronauts gone to the moon? How many times have astronauts gone to the moon?
I don't know how many times the astronauts came to the moon.
Have gone, right?
Have gone to the moon.
Yeah.
Have gone to the moon.
I don't know how many times that's. I don't know. 5, 6. I don't know. That's a good question. How many times? That one I don't know the answer. 5 or 6 maybe. Huh? All right. Let's see. David Segovia.
Yes, sir.
How many feet are there in 1 mile? How many feet are there in 1 mile?
I don't know how many feet are there in a mile.
Switch them around. I don't know how many feet.
There.
I don't know.
There are.
There are.
Okay. Anybody know that one? Extra bonus points. It's a crazy number. 5,280.
208?
5,280.
5,280.
5,280. The English measuring system is crazy.
5,000 is gone.
Yeah, it's not so easy like 1,000 meters in a kilometer. 5,280 feet. All right. Let's see. Jose Garcia.
Yes, sir.
What is inside your pencil?
I don't know what
Lead. Lead.
I don't know what
is
it is in my pencil.
Right there. Again, no change on that one, right? Because what is the subject? So I don't know what is inside my pencil. All right. What is inside the pencil? Graphite or lead, right? That's right. All right. Let's see. Claudia.
Yeah.
How many presidents have there been in the United States?
I don't know how many presidents
47.
have been done.
45.
45?
I don't know how many presidents there have been, right?
No, there have been.
45.
45. Well, actually, this is kind of a trick question. Donald Trump is the 45th president, but there's only been 44 people who were president because one guy was president 2 different times. So there you go. There's an interesting trivia question. Because Donald Trump is the 45th president, but one guy was the president 2 times. So he did
George
not.
Bush.
Who was the president?
George Bush.
2 separate numbers. Grover Cleveland was his name.
Oh.
He was the president 2 separate times. He
separate.
was president for 4 years. Then he lost, and then he became president again. So he was he was number 26, and 27 was somebody else, and then he was 28 again.
Okay.
I think I don't know about the number, but that was Grover Cleveland. There you go.
Grover Cleveland.
There you go. We're getting a lot of U.S. trivia tonight. All right. Let's see. Julio Contreras.
Yes, teacher.
Let's see. Where was the Declaration of Independence signed? Where was the Declaration of Independence signed?
I don't know where was the Declaration of Independence signed.
This said?
I don't know where.
I don't know where.
The Declaration of Independence.
The Declaration of Independence
was signed, right?
Was signed?
There we go. Yeah, was signed. I don't know where the Declaration of Independence was signed.
In 1776?
That's when it was signed, but where?
Where?
What city?
Where? What city?
Yes.
In Washington, D.C.?
Washington, D.C. did not exist in 1776.
No? I don't know.
It was in Philadelphia.
I was about to say, you still never.
I stole your question. Philadelphia. Yeah, that's right. Philadelphia.
You stole the word from my mouth.
Okay, sorry. I was too quick. With my answer. Philadelphia, yes. Although there's an old joke.
I just stay with the fish.
I will tell you the old joke about that question. Somebody says, "Do you know where the Declaration of Independence was signed?" And you say, "Of course, on the bottom of the page."
Yes.
Where they signed it, right there on the bottom. Right there on the bottom. That's right. All right. Let's see. Edviges, are you ready?
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. What is the largest city in Texas?
I don't know where the larger or what?
The largest city in Texas.
Largest city, Texas is.
Houston?
Yeah, I don't know
Houston?
what the largest. Houston is the largest city in Texas. Very good, very good. We got some intelligent people here tonight. All right. All right. Let's see. Noel, are you ready, Noel?
Yes.
All right. Noel, let me ask you. When did the Dodgers last win the World Series? When did the Dodgers last win the World Series?
I don't know when the Dodgers won the last series.
I don't know when the Dodgers won the last World Series. Anybody know that one?
No.
That answer makes me sad because it was 1988.
Oh, 88?
1988. I moved to California in 1987. And in 1988, the Dodgers won the World Series and never again.
Teacher, that happened when the guy Valenzuela.
I think. Let's see. Was Valenzuela on the team in '88? maybe. Well, they won when Valenzuela was on the team, but I'm not sure if he was on the team in '88. So I'd have to check on that. He was on the team maybe when they won like in '78, but I don't know if he was still on the team in '88. That's a good question. I'd have to check my statistics book. All right, Leonardo, welcome.
Sí, teacher. Yes.
Are you there?
Yes.
Are you ready? Are you ready to answer a question or not answer a question?
Let me see.
Okay, all you have to do is say I don't know. Okay, and then give me an indirect question. Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
What is the fastest animal? What is the fastest animal?
I don't know what the fastest animal is.
The fastest animal is that's us. We're the cheetahs. That's right. Yes. We're the cheetahs. We are the fastest animals on this. This is our team. Our team mascot is the cheetahs. Our mascota. Right? Right. So the cheetah. Yes, the cheetah is the fastest animal. I think it can run like 60 miles an hour. All right. So what were those? Those were all embedded questions. Why did we use embedded questions? Because you had an introductory clause. In this case, the introductory clause was the same. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. But if you have anything in front of the question, you got to make those little changes. And sometimes little changes just switching two words around, right? Right? So for example, I said, how many presidents have there been? You say, I don't know how many presidents there have been, right? I said have there, you switch it to there have, right? So it's just a matter of changing the position of the words, with the exception of do, does, and did, right? Do, does, and did, what happens to those three words? Throw them out, right? We throw them out and we have to change the verb accordingly. All right, makes sense?
Yes.
So far, so good. Anyway, well, let's look at exactly this lesson in the book, and then we'll practice some more in a minute, okay? No problems?
Little bit.
A little bit. All right. Well, let me find the proper window to share here for you. There it is. Okay. Let's see. Push this button too. Okay. All right. Can everybody see the paper here?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have a book with you, this is the beginning of chapter 3, and it's page 32. 32 in the purple book. All right. So let's take a look at these pictures and see if we can guess the story. All right. Here we have two girls. Where are they in this picture?
At the school.
They're running.
At school. And are they running toward the school or away from the school?
From the school.
They're running away from the school. That's right. That's right. They're running away from the school.
Okay.
So, and it looks like they're going to this picture number 2. Where are they going?
They go in the airport.
They're going to the theater.
Is that the theater?
Or train station.
In the mall?
I think it's the mall. Yeah, I think it's the shopping mall.
Yeah.
The shopping mall. Okay. All right. But what happens? Uh-oh.
The mother just
Picture number 3. Somebody calls the mother and says, hey, your daughter's at the mall. Uh-oh. That's a problem.
I think the school called them already.
Oh, yeah, it could be. Yeah. And so Mrs. Lee is going to talk to Lon and say, hey, what are you doing?
Talking to her daddy.
Yeah, a little upset, right? And then what happened?
She will be punished.
She's in
Punishment. She's getting punished, right? She's getting punished. And what's one of her punishments? Maybe
Don't go to the party.
No birthday party for her.
No birthday party.
Okay. All right. So now we've seen the pictures. Let's listen to the story. So I'm gonna turn off everybody's microphone so we can listen in peace and quiet. and then we're going to see if we can answer some questions about it. So let me turn off the microphones first. There we go. All right, everybody's microphone is off. Let me go to the next page. This is on page 33, and we're going to look for some information. There's 3 parts to this, right? The first part, what is the reason for the call, and what should the mother do? The second part, name 2 rules that the mother has. And the third part, why is she upset? And the fourth part, what is the punishment? Okay, so we're going to listen for all those things. I'm going to play it once, and then I'm going to ask you the questions, and we'll see if we can write. So get out your pencil and get ready to take some notes. Get out your pencil and get ready to take notes. We're going to listen especially for, when we listen for the indirect questions.
Unit 3, Friends and Family. Page 33, exercises 2A and 2B.
You have 1 new message.
This call is for Mrs. Wen Lee. This is the attendance office from Central High School calling on Tuesday, March 10th at 2 p.m. We're calling to report an unexcused absence for your daughter, Lan, from her 7th period class today. Please call the office at 619-555-2300 to explain why your daughter missed class. Thank you.
Okay, turn everybody's microphone back on for a second. All right, so the reason for the call was Lan was absent. And what should the mother do?
Call the office.
Call the office. Very good. Okay. All right. So we're up to part 2. Part 2 is the mother's rules. So let's listen for the mother's rules. I'm going to turn off the microphones again. And let's listen to part 2.
Part 2.
I can't believe we're at the mall on a school day.
Yeah. Do you think anyone at school is going to miss us?
No way. There's a substitute teacher in my last period class.
Mine too. So, how's everything at home?
It's the same old thing. I'm so frustrated. My mother won't let me do anything. She is so strict.
Strict? Like how?
Well, I'm not permitted to go anywhere without my parents or my brother. And my mom says I can't go out on a date without a chaperone until I'm 18.
That's so unfair. I wonder why your mother is so strict.
I don't know. I think she's trying to bring me up like she was raised in China. She just doesn't understand the customs here in the United States.
Okay. That's part 2. I'm going to turn your microphones back on. All right. So they mentioned 2 rules. 2 rules that Lan's mom has. What was the first rule?
No permit to go out.
The first one is she can go out without chaperone until 18.
She can't go out
until 18.
Without chaperone.
Okay, that was one, that she can't go out with a boy until she's 18.
18.
And the other one?
No permit
chaperone until 18 years.
To go out.
Right. So the first rule was she can't go anywhere without her brother or parents, right?
She cannot go out alone.
And the second rule was no date with a boy until she turns 18, right?
Yes.
So number 1, no, can't go anywhere without a chaperone. And number 2, no dates until she's 18, right? No fair. No fair. It's terrible. All right. Let's try the last part and see if we can see the last part. And in the last part, we're looking for what? The reason the mother is upset and the punishment. Okay? Let's listen for those. I'm going to turn off the microphones. And here we go.
Part 3.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Lon. How was school today?
Fine. Is something wrong?
The school called and said you were absent from your 7th period class. Where did you go?
Come on, Mom. Don't get excited.
Tell me where you went.
Mary and I just went to the mall right across the street from school, okay?
But what about your last class?
There was a substitute teacher, okay? I didn't miss anything.
I don't understand how you could do this.
Well, it's your fault. You're so strict that I had no choice. Everybody's allowed to go to the mall except for me. Why can't you trust me?
This is not about trust. You broke the school rules. You're on restriction for the next 2 weekends.
On restriction? What about Celia's birthday party next Saturday?
I'm afraid you'll have to miss it. Next time, maybe you'll think before you act.
Oh boy, what a problem. What a problem. Okay, so let's see if we can answer those last 2 questions. All right, let me turn everybody's microphone back on here for a second. There we go. All right, so why is the mother upset?
Because she broke the school rules.
She broke the school rules. She missed 7th period class.
She
right?
was absent.
She was absent from 7th period, right? And what is the punishment?
She's going to miss the.
So she can't go anywhere for how long?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, right? For 2 weeks she can't go anywhere. Very good, very good. All right, good. Let's look at the vocabulary, and I want you to notice one thing about that conversation, right? Did you hear what Lon's mother said? She said to Lon, "Where did you go?" That's a direct question, right? And Lon said, "Oh, I didn't do it. What are you talking about?" And then the mother was a little more serious. She says, "Tell me where you went." Right? So we had a direct and an indirect question there. Where did you go? Direct question. Tell me where you went. Indirect question. Make sense? Más o menos? All right. All right. So let's look at the vocabulary here and see if we can put it into the story. All right. The first vocabulary word is argument. Argument. I think we know that word. When you disagree with somebody, right? You have an argument. This next one, maybe we don't know. To bring up. To bring up someone. What does it mean to bring up someone?
To bring what?
To bring someone up. This vocabulary word right here.
Talk about somebody else.
When you are the parent of somebody, you're going to bring them up. Right? That's what parents do. Parents bring up their children. It's like teach and raise and give advice. That's called bringing up your children. Right? So you say, well, I was brought up to be respectful to everyone. Right? I was taught. It's like teach. You bring up your child. You teach your child. When you teach your child right from wrong, how to be polite, how to act, right, to bring up. Because remember what did Lon say? She's trying to bring me up like she was back in China, right? She's trying to bring me up like she was back in China, right? Break the rules. Well, that's what happened that's what Lon did, right? She broke the rules of the school. Chaperone. Now, do you have that word in Spanish, chaperone?
Yes.
It's actually a French word, I think. Yes. But a chaperone is what? Somebody who
always with
is like a companion, an older companion, right? Who watches carefully. Who watches carefully to make sure there's no trouble, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, whenever there's like a dance at the school, sometimes there are teachers there who are chaperones, right? They make sure that everything is fine. All right. Missed, right? Well, missed is what she did. She missed the class, right?
Yeah.
On restriction, that was her punishment, right? On restriction, that was her punishment. In my day, we used to say grounded. I don't know if people still say that or not, because
Castigar. Grande is.
Grounded means you can't go out. You just have to stay in your house. You're grounded. Permitted, of course, is to allow. Raise and bring up mean the same thing, right? You raise your children, you bring up your children. Strict. If somebody is strict, do they have many rules or only a few rules?
Many rules.
Many rules, right? Somebody who's strict has many rules, right? And trust is when you have confidence in somebody, right? That's what Lon says. You don't trust me.
You don't trust me.
Right? And Lon's mom says, of course not. Yeah, don't trust those children, huh? They can be nothing but trouble, right? All right. So let's see if we can put these words into the story. All right. What does it say here in this story? Let me make it just a little bit smaller here. All right. It says here, Mrs. Lee received a phone message from her daughter's school saying that Lon, her seventh period, missed the class. Missed, right? Missed the seventh period class. Good. Lon left school early to go to the mall with her friend, Mary. At the mall, Lon tells Mary that her mother is too strict. That's right. Lon thinks it's because her mother wants to bring her up. The same way she was raised in China, right? Bring up and raise mean the same thing. Bring up and raise. So she wants to bring her up the same way she was raised in China. That's why Lon needs a chaperone. She needs a chaperone
to go out
on the date.
At home?
At home, Lon and her mother have a what?
Argument?
They have an argument. They have an argument. They sure do. Lon is angry because she is not permitted to go to the mall alone. She's not permitted
to the mall alone.
She thinks her mother doesn't trust her. All right. All right. Mrs. Lee is upset because Lon broke the rules. Broke the rules. That's right. As a punishment, she says that Lon is
on restriction for 2 weeks.
On restriction for 2 weeks. All right. Very good. Yeah. Okay. Good. Let me stop the share for a second. All right. Oh, teenagers. They are big problems, aren't they?
Yes.
Although my daughter was pretty good as a teenager, but every teenager has, because the teenager brain goes
different mind.
Different place. They go to a different place, right?
Different place.
Okay. All right. So I want to take a little time before we look at the grammar to do a little conversation. So I'm going to put you into some small groups, okay? And I'm going to put some questions on the board that I want you to discuss. Okay, just a couple of questions, but I think we can have a good conversation. Okay? All right. Okay. All right. So I want you to copy down these questions and we're going to talk about them with a partner. Okay? So I'm only going to write about 5 questions, but I want you to write them down so you can talk to your partners about it. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Here's question number 1. Were your parents strict or lenient? Everybody understand this word, lenient?
No, teacher, don't hear.
It's the opposite, right?
It's bad.
Lenient is when you have, strict is when you have many rules. Lenient is when you don't have any rules.
No, don't have? Oh.
No rules.
Or lenient.
You let the kids do whatever they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's question number one. Were your parents strict or lenient? Explain.
Lenient.
All right. So, question number two. Now, if you don't have any kids, you can just imagine what you would do if you had kids. So, do you parent differently from how you were brought up? Explain. In other words,
from how you were brought up.
Right? Remember, we had that bring up, that expression, bring up.
Teach your child? My parent like me now?
Yeah. When you're a parent, right? So are you much different from your parents, or do you do similar things?
I'm different.
Okay, you can explain. Explain to your partners. Okay. And let's see. Number three, what punishments did you get when you were a kid? If you were, parenting has changed a lot in the last few years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Question number 4. Do you think teachers should be able to punish kids? How? Do you think teachers should be able to punish kids?
No.
Okay, you explain to your partners. And the last question, how important are rules for children? I'll give you a few minutes to write down those questions. But while you're writing, I can answer them for myself. You can listen while you're writing. Let's see, for me, number 1, were your parents strict or lenient? I think I'm pretty typical because my father was very strict and my mother was kind of more lenient. My father had many rules. He always wanted us to be home in time for dinner, 6 o'clock. If we were late, it was big trouble. Let's see. Do you parent differently from how you were brought up? I think so. I think I'm much more lenient than my father was. I didn't have very many rules for my daughter when she was little. What punishments?
Because it's different age.
Different age, yes, different time.
The time is different.
What punishments did you get when you were a kid? Oh, yeah. So, sometimes my father would get out the belt. Yeah. Yeah, he gave me that punishment a few times. Yeah. Yeah, get out the belt. Hit me on the backside with the belt. Yeah. Let's see. Do you think teachers should be able to punish kids? How? Well, I don't think they should be able to hit kids, but I think sometimes kids the classroom goes crazy when they're with the little kids because
Yes.
they don't have any punishments.
Sometimes it's necessary.
It's there have to be some kind of punishment for bad kids.
Yes.
Hey, teacher.
Yes.
Can I tell you an experience?
Oh yeah, sure.
When I was on 4th grade, we had this teacher. He was really mean. He used to hit us with the razor, with the eraser.
What, the eraser?
Yeah.
Would he like throw? He would throw the eraser, or he'd hit you on the head with the eraser?
In the head with the eraser.
Like he would take it and just slam your head?
Yeah, with one of the corners.
Oh.
Ouch. It was to be very painful.
What, the corner of the eraser?
Yeah, they were
sharp?
like wood. They were wood.
Oh, they were wood. Ow! Oh, you
yeah.
mean like the base of the eraser was wood?
Yes.
Ooh.
He was mean.
Oh man. But I bet you learned to behave yourself quickly in that class. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Nobody was. Yeah, I had some mean teachers too when I was a kid. Yeah. You know, and the problem for me is sometimes I would get bored in class, and I would tell jokes or something to pass the time. Yeah. I wouldn't want me for a student. I was always a little bit of a troublemaker. All right. Does everybody have the questions copied down?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay. All right. Good. So we heard Lon's experience, and all of you. Yeah, I think everybody in this room, except maybe Rita, grew up in a different country. Rita, you grew up here a little bit and a little bit in Mexico, right?
Yes, I grew up here.
Oh, mostly here?
Mostly here, yes.
Okay.
Mr. Webb.
Okay, so you can share your experiences, what they were like. And everybody else grew up in a different country, right? Let's see. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I grew up in the middle of the country, Midwest, in the 1960s and 70s. That's when I was a kid. All right, so I'm going to put you in little groups. We'll talk about those 5 questions a little bit, and then we'll come back and look at the grammar more closely, okay? Sounds good?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll have a little discussion time here, if I can push the correct buttons. All right, so we have 10 people. Let's go with 3 rooms, with 3 or 4 people in each room, okay? Sounds good? All right. All right, so you're going to be with a couple or 4 people, and I want you to discuss these questions with your partners. And let's see, right now it's about 8:06, so maybe about 10 minutes, okay? I'll come in and join the conversations, but let's talk about these 5 questions for maybe 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll look at the grammar, and then we'll be done for tonight. All right, ready to go?
Yes.
All right, off you go. I'm going to open the rooms. Please push the button and join a room. Push those buttons. There we go.
Who's gonna start?
Who's gonna start? Who's gonna start? Ladies first.
Okay.
Isadora, you wanna ask question first for us?
Yes. A ver. To Armando, were your parents strict?
Man.
Were your parents strict?
Yes, I think that there was. Yeah, they were strict. They were kind of strict. It's like the same thing of Mr. Wade. I had to be in time for dinner. If I get late for dinner, it was like, where are you? You know what time we have dinner? Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they were strict. How about you? How about yours?
My parents were strict. Very strict. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did your father? Did your father have rules about boys?
My parents?
Yeah.
Yes.
What did he not let you have any boyfriends, or did he?
Yes. I haven't boyfriend until 18 years old.
Oh, so you were home until 18, all right? Then
yes.
Then you had your freedom.
Very
interesting.
Okay, Rita.
Yes, Armando.
Do your parents were different from now you were brought up?
Yes, definitely. Yes. I was raised. My dad was very strict, and well, with my kids, I wasn't that strict with them. With my two girls, even though there were two girls, I was kind of lenient to them.
Okay. Now, do you think that is typical for Latino parents to be strict? Is that?
I think yes, Mr. Webb. Latino, like Latin people, is more strict than here
More
because
strict.
in part of our country, it is okay to hit your kids, but here you can touch them.
Not anymore. Not anymore. That's for sure.
Not anymore. Yeah, and I think it's better, because at the end of when they grow up, they have the mental that you guys hit their kids, so they have something against their parents, so it is not good.
Now, when you were now, how old are your children now, Rita?
21 and 19, Mr.
Okay,
Webb.
so they're older. Now,
Yes,
when they were little and they made you angry, did you have a urge, or were you fighting not to do anything?
I find not to, Mr. Webb. Yeah, because I don't want them to feel what I feel.
That's right. It's easy to lose your temper, though, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I never hit my daughter, but there was one time where I came very, very close. she was lucky that day because we were in the church, and she was just causing all kinds of problems in the church, and it was she was
Mr.
running
Webb,
around.
My mind when
I was almost, I didn't do it, but I was close. I was close.
You didn't did it because God was watching you.
Oh yeah, God was watching me, exactly. I can't hit my kid in church. That would be.
Yes. Mr. Webb, when my mom is here, she doesn't like my daughter is living in the university in Syracuse. She doesn't like that.
Oh, she didn't want her to live at the campus?
Yeah. She say your daughter need to stay in your home with you because
so your parents gave you some advice. Yeah. Luckily, my mother hasn't said too much about that.
No.
Yeah. I don't know. She might have opinions about it, but she hasn't said too much about it. Now,
so where did your daughter study in the campus, or she lived with you?
She lived in the campus for the first 2 years.
2 years.
And then her third year, she took a study program in Germany, and then she came back from Germany, and then she lived here at the house, and now she's living in an apartment over there again. So
for a brown program. Brown?
Yes, study abroad program. That's right. So she was living with a family in Germany for 6 months.
And my daughter she was living 2 years in the campus too, and in the other 2 years in the house. I paying the rent for her.
Yeah, that's me too. Yeah, you just say bye to your money. There it goes.
Yes.
There it goes.
But now she's here.
Okay. Oh, now she's back. Okay. Yeah. Well, finally my daughter has a job. She got a job, her first job. She got it last month. So, gracias a Dios. So this month I haven't given her any money for the first time in my life. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
Oh, congratulations.
So the other say, all this money is mine now. Nothing for my daughter.
What are we going to do with
What am I going to do with all this extra money?
Oh.
Yes.
All right. Keep talking. I will go to the next room, okay?
Okay.
All right. See you later. Bye-bye. Hola, everybody.
Hi, teacher.
Hello, teacher.
Oh, three guys here.
Yeah, with three.
Okay. All right. Now we can be honest if we were bad boys or good boys when we were. We don't have to. We can say all the bad things we did when we were kids. Well, I was pretty good until I became 18, and then I kind of went crazy for a year. Because in those days, you could go to the bar or nightclub at 18 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was 40 years ago. Yeah. And,
oh, great.
And so when you were 18, you could go to the bar, no problem. So even though I was in high school, I could go to the bar on the weekend. And you know what? My father didn't complain if I go to the bar on the weekend. But you know what happened on Saturday morning? He would wake me up like at 7 o'clock in the morning and say, it's time to go out and work in the yard. He made me work in the yard in the morning. It was terrible. It's like, oh, I have a headache.
With the hangover?
Yeah, I was out there pulling the weeds and cutting the grass. 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning. It was terrible. It was terrible. Terrible punishment. Yes.
So those were the punishments?
Yeah, those were my punishments. That I could go out, but I had to pay the price the next day. So.
Oh.
Yeah, and I had to come home. Like most of my friends could go out and stay out later, but I had to come home by midnight. That was my deadline. Midnight.
Oh wow.
That's nice. So anyway, how about you guys? Did you have strict parents or not?
I was playing to Julio and Joel. I left the house when I was 14 years old because my daddy was so strict.
Oh my.
And then I thought it's not the way, so you teach your son to be like straight.
Okay, it was too much.
It's too much. Yeah.
Right. And is that when you came here?
No, I came here when I was 22 years old, I think.
Okay, so where did you live when you were 14?
I left the house. I went to my aunt's house.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed over there for 1 year.
Okay.
After 1 year, I come back to my dad's house,
mm-hmm.
and I explain him that's not a rule.
Mm-hmm.
You can teach me so I can be straight. And then he changed. He changed a lot.
Oh, okay. So he realized that he was too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then your plan worked, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, well.
And then after that, I never left the school. I never left the school, and then I started working on cars.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I learned a lot not from my dad, my way.
Okay, you learn by experience.
Yes, learn by experience.
Experience is the best teacher, they say, right?
Yeah. Now I'm not like my dad. I'm different.
Oh, okay. Now, do you have kids yourself, David?
Yes, I have a 3 years old son.
Okay. Boy. Okay, and now 2 years old, they call that the terrible twos, right? Have you heard that expression?
Yes.
The terrible twos, because
yes.
2-year-old kids have a lot of opinions about what they want to do and what they don't want to do. Oh, it can be a headache, right? It can be a headache.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Well,
absolutely.
Yes,
Wow.
teacher.
Well, good luck. 2 years old is tough. All right. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Keep talking. I'm going to visit one more classroom and then I'll bring you back. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
All right. See you later.
See ya.
Okay.
Hello.
Teacher.
Do you think that teachers should be able to push kids
Punish. Castigar. Punish.
Okay.
I think yes, because if the kids are talking on the cell phone or texting and they don't pay attention, maybe the teacher could take the cell phone and say, hey, no, don't go here.
Me too. I think the teacher should be push because the kids is need a discipline.
Because sometimes there's kids who are just causing lots of problems, right?
Yeah.
And like all the other kids don't like it either, right? Yeah, because sometimes you have kids who cause problems for everybody else, right? And you know, I think, and sometimes like students will come to me and say, well, you know, teacher, can you say something to those students that are always talking, right? It interrupts the rest of the learning. So yeah, yeah. My mom was a teacher for many years. But she taught the little ones, like in elementary school. And she had her rule was, don't smile until Thanksgiving. You have to be strict at the beginning, right? So after, if you're strict for the first 2 months, then the kids will be okay for the rest of the year. But if you give them, because they always want to test the teacher, right? They want to see if the teacher will accept things. So that was my mom's rule. Don't smile until Thanksgiving.
That's nice.
No smile.
When I was a kid, I had the problem that I am too much talkative.
Oh, you like talking in the class, huh?
So the teacher said, hey, Claudia, come here. And he changed my desk.
Okay.
One of him. Yeah.
Oh, my. You were right in front?
I cannot be with my...
Oh, no.
I couldn't be with my...
Your friends, huh? Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You were stuck right in front of the teacher's desk, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. That's tough. That's tough. All right. I'm going to bring everybody back to the main room, and then we're going to look at the grammar, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I'll see you back in the main room in just a minute, okay? Welcome back. Here comes David, back to business. Noel's back.
Okay.
Little by little. Were you able to talk about all of the questions? Más o menos?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah,
more or less. Good. Yeah, it's being a parent is not easy, right? It's a challenge. Do you have kids, Julio?
Yes, I have 4 daughters.
4 daughters. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
12, 9, 6, and 5 months.
Oh wow.
5
And
months.
yes.
You got a little one on your hands, huh?
Yeah. They get crazy.
Oh yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah, especially in this time that they cannot go out.
Yeah, I bet. You know, like my daughter is 22 now, so you know she's a little more mature, so she can handle being inside. But if I was a boy with a lot of energy and I want to go to the park with my friends, and it's like I want to go play soccer, and it's like no, you can't do any of that things. It's very,
Yeah.
must be very frustrating for kids right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially like for my wife.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
they're
hard.
Yeah, they're driving her crazy too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm go out of work.
You go to work. You get away. You escape.
Yeah, I go to work.
You escape.
You escape.
I escape for most of the time.
Yeah, it's tough. Right. Let's see. And David, you say you have little ones too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What was the age of yours?
3 years old.
3 years old. Okay. And Julio has 4. Isadora has college kids, right? Rita, your kids are adults now.
Yes, and also I have a 6 years old son.
Oh, a
too.
6-year-old. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you have a big gap between the
Yeah, 13 years apart.
Oh my goodness.
From the second to the last one.
Wow. So your older daughters are like the big great aunts for your.
Yes, they were like second moms. They helped me a lot with my kids.
I bet, because
Yes.
there are some people who are 21, 22 who have a 6-year-old kid, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they're practically parents. Well, you have like so the little boy has 3 mothers. Practically.
3 mothers, yes, for sure.
Very good. Well, parenting is always a very interesting topic because you have to do it by your own feeling, right? You can't follow a book. You have to know.
I have a brother 20 years less than me.
20 years younger than you.
20 years.
Oh yeah, you could be his mother too.
Yes.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm the second child in my family. I have my mother was very busy because in 6 years she had 4 kids.
Yeah.
So bang. Yeah, four kids in 6 years. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, because my older brother was born in 1962, and my youngest brother was born 1968. So between 62 and 68, four children. Bang. My brother was 62, I was 63, my sister was 65, and my other sister was 68. So 4 kids in 6 years. So that was very, so there are a lot of little ones running around for my mom.
Yes.
Yeah, but she was a good mom. Was very kind and funny. She was a funny mom. So she was, and so it was like a balance between, it was like hot and cold, my mom and my dad.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, always interesting to talk about.
Why you only have one daughter?
Why?
Why?
Well, we got kind of a late start because my wife was 38 years old when we got married.
Oh.
So when she had the first baby, she was 39, and we said, okay, we got one good baby. Okay, that's you know, when a lady gets over 40, things get can be dangerous,
more difficult, right? Yeah, they get difficult and dangerous.
Yeah, so we said, okay, we'll take the one. So I would have liked more. I because I come from 4 kids family, and you know, it's nice.
You were a friend.
It's nice to have brothers and sisters. But I tell you, when you have an only child, your child becomes very independent, right?
Yes.
So she was she's more mature than most of the kids her age, because I think she had to grow up quickly because she was the only one. She was the only kid in the house. Anyway, all right, let's look at some grammar and then we'll go home for tonight, okay? Sounds good. Did everybody have a good conversation with your chat room partners? Good.
Yes, we have.
Always interesting talk about that kind of topic, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at, back to the book for a second. We'll look at the grammar in the book and then we'll be done for tonight. Let's see, let's go to the next page in the book where they explain the indirect questions. Let's take a look at that. Here it is. Indirect WH questions. This is page 30.
34.
34.
34? 34, yeah, page 34 in the book. All right, and here's those questions we were talking about, right? Here, again, these are the basic questions, right? In these questions, they only have two examples. They only have is and did. Remember what happens to is? We just move it to the other side, right? Why is she so strict? I wonder why she is.
She is.
How is everything at school? I'd like to know how everything
is.
So when we have is or are, we just move it to after the subject, right? And then on the other hand, when we have did, remember it's true for do, does, and did. When we have do, does, and did, what happens? Throw it away.
Disappear.
Throw it away.
Disappear.
Right, disappears. And then here's some good introductory clauses here, right? I'd like to know, I don't know, could you tell me, I wonder, can you tell me, do you know? Notice the little culture note here. It says indirect questions are often more polite than direct questions. Add please to make it even more polite. So for example, could you please tell me? Or can you please tell me? All right, so let's look down here at the practice. Here we have questions. And again, here it's pretty simple because we only have did and is, right? We have the be verb and we have did. So let's see what we can do with these, right? What is the student's name? Do you know what the student's name is, right? Let me see if I can move this over here. Right? Do you know what the student's name is? Right? Can everybody see that answer?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, the next one. What class did she miss? Okay, this has a did. So what are we going to say there?
Can
you please tell me what class she missed?
With the ED, right? With ED.
With
ED.
What class she missed? Exactly, right here. Can you tell me what class she missed? Good. All right, let's look at the next one. The next one says, who did Lon go to the mall with?
I wonder
who Lon went
to the mall.
Exactly.
With.
I take out did and I change go to went. I wonder who Lon went to the mall with. Now, in formal English, I could put the with in front. With whom? With whom Lon went to the mall. But this is fine. This is fine. Spoken English. Why did she break the rules? Again, we have did. So what happens to did? Throw it away. So what are we going to say?
Why?
I would like to know why she broke the rules.
She broke the rules.
Right. I would like to know why she broke the rules. Good. No problem?
No.
All right. Let me see if I can move these answers here. Okay. Number 5. Can you tell me when did she and her friend leave?
When
they left the school.
When they left the school.
Exactly. Can you tell me when they left the school?
Tell me when they left the school.
Right. Can you tell me when they left the school here? Number 5 right here. Can you tell me when they left the school? Okay. Oops. Try this again. All right. There we go. Okay, now number 6. What did they do at the mall? What did they do? I want to know.
Do you know
what they did at the mall?
When they came?
Did. What they did, right? What they did. I'd like to know what they did. Okay. Next one says, when did they come home?
Teacher.
Oh, sorry.
But right there in number 6, what they did?
Oh, yeah, number 6, sorry. What they did. There you go.
What they did at the mall.
I want to know what they did at the mall.
But the did, it has to disappear?
Right, right. But in this case, did is also the main verb.
Oh, okay, that's
right. Because it's what did they do, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're right. Usually did disappears, but in this case it doesn't because we have do as the main verb.
Okay.
All right. So dos más here. What do we got? We got
when
the next one. When did they come home? So do you know?
Do you know when they came home?
When they came home. When they came home, right? Do you know when they came home? When they came home. Good. And finally, what was Lan's punishment? Now this has a be verb, was. So what do? We just move it to the end, right? We move it to the end.
Yes.
So
you please tell me what
punishment was.
What the punishment was, right?
What the punishment
what
was.
Lan's punishment was. Exactly. Okay, no problem?
No problem.
Oh, okay, I want to do one more thing here, and then we're going to call it a day. But let me share one more thing here. And then we're going to be done. Let's see, let me get a new share going here. Okay. All right, can everybody see what we have up here? Where it says questions and embedded questions. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so here it says Kevin went somewhere. Well, we have a question and an answer. So the question would be just a simple where did
Kevin
go? Right?
Go.
Where did Kevin go?
Did he go?
Where did he go?
Did he go?
My question is, where did he go? All right. And the answer would be what? I don't know.
I don't know.
Where
Kevin
went, right?
He went.
Yeah. Kevin went somewhere. Oh, really? Where did he go? And B says, I don't know where he went. Okay? So far, so good?
So far, so good.
All right. All right. Let's look at the next one. The little boy wants something.
What the boy?
What's
the little boy?
Let's make it
the little boy wants.
Hold on. Let's make it the regular question, direct question. What
the boy
does
the little boy want?
Right?
What does the little boy want?
Right. The little boy wants something. Oh, really? What does he want? Okay. And if you say, I'm not sure what?
I'm not sure what
the little
he wants.
Right?
He wants.
Right. What does the little boy want? I'm not sure what he wants. direct question, indirect question, right? We have both kinds of questions here. The first question is direct. What does the little boy want? The second question is indirect. I'm not sure what he wants. Okay. The next one says, Maria visited someone in the hospital.
What? Who did Maria visit?
Maria?
Who did?
Who Maria?
But let's use a simple past question, right?
Who did Maria visit?
Did Maria visit in the hospital?
Who did Maria visit
in the hospital?
Visit in the hospital?
Who did Maria visit in the hospital? Okay.
I'm not positive.
I'm not positive. Who Maria visited in the hospital?
Who Maria visited in the hospital?
Visited, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Who did Maria visit in the hospital? I'm not positive who she visited. Okay. All right. I have a lot of these, but we're only going to do, let's do 8 before we go home here.
How long has,
all right. My uncle has been a carpenter for many years. What are we going to say? How long?
How long
has my uncle been a carpenter?
Has my uncle been a carpenter?
Your uncle
been a carpenter?
A carpenter.
How long has your uncle been a carpenter? Right.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure how long has been
a carpenter.
He has been, right?
He has
How long she has been a carpenter?
All right. How long has your uncle been a carpenter? I'm not sure how long he's been a carpenter.
I'm going to.
All right. I'm going to buy something at the mall.
What are you going to buy?
What are you going to buy?
Right? Going to buy
at the mall?
I haven't
decided what
I'm going to buy.
What I'm going to buy.
What are you going to buy? I haven't decided what I'm going to buy. Right? Direct question, indirect question. Why is it an indirect question? Because it's after I haven't decided. All right. The next one says, my wife wants to go somewhere for vacation. All right. My wife wants to go somewhere.
Where your wife wants to go?
My wife
for vacation.
Your wife wants.
Right.
To go?
Where does your wife want to go? That's the direct question.
Yes.
And the indirect question, she hasn't told me.
I don't know
where she wants to go.
Where she
wants to go.
Where does your wife want to go? She hasn't told me where she wants to go.
She wants to go.
Now this one is the same as number 4, so I'm going to change it. Let's see.
I'm going to this.
Let's see. Okay. Okay, so A says, I broke a bone, and B says, which bone
did you
broke it?
Did you
broke
or break?
Break.
Right? Right? Which bone did you break?
Oh,
I haven't decided.
I don't know.
I don't know which one
you broke.
Right? I don't know which bone I broke. I broke a bone. Oh, really? Which bone did you break? To be honest, I don't know which bone I broke. Okay? Again, Did you break is simple past question. Which I broke is a simple past indirect question. Walter said something very impolite. Walter said something very impolite.
What did
Walter
say? Direct question. What did Walter say? An indirect question?
I don't know to
I don't want to repeat
what he say.
what he said.
What he said. Right? I don't want to repeat what he said.
I don't know what to repeat.
Yeah. Walter said something very impolite. Oh, really? What did he say? To be honest, I don't want to repeat what he said. Right? One is a direct question. The other is an indirect question. All right. Now this one is a little bit different. It says here, something funny happened in class. ¿Qué pasó?
What did happen?
What
happened?
What happened in
What
class,
happened?
right?
What happened in class yesterday?
Yesterday?
What happened in class?
You
And
should ask Manuel what happened.
I don't know what happened.
What happened in class?
you should ask Manuel what happened.
I don't know.
All right. You want to do more, or is that enough for tonight? More? Should we finish? All right, let's finish. Let's do more.
Yes.
All right. All right.
Two more.
Two more.
Why
Okay. All right.
Felix
quit his job for some reason. Okay.
Why
Felix?
What did he
Why
quit?
did
Felix quit his job?
Why did Felix
quit?
Quit. All right. His job. All right. And it says he won't tell me
why he quit.
He quit.
He won't tell me why he quit. All right. The next one is simple future.
What time will you begin?
The class will begin. So what time will
the class begin?
Will begin the class.
What time will the class begin? Right? What time will the class begin?
I'm not sure. What time the class will begin?
The class will
begin.
The class will begin.
Okay, good. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Since we're getting close to 9 o'clock, I'm going to stop the share here. All right, what I'm going to do is right after class, I'm going to send you a paper that looks exactly like that, but it'll be different questions, okay? You can do it as a homework, and we can check it before we get into our lesson tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
All right, sounds good?
Sounds good.
Why not? Why not? We can do a little homework, right? A little?
Yeah.
But remember, just like we were practicing, the first one is a direct question. Why is it direct? Because it begins with the question word. Remember, whenever you have the first word is what or when or who or why, you want to have a direct question. So what does that mean? Auxiliary verb in front of the subject. The second one is the answer. That's the indirect question. What are we going to do? We're going to write a question word, a subject, and a verb. All right, does that sound fair?
Yes.
So as soon as the class is over, I'm going to send you a paper. That paper will have some questions that you can practice at home, and we'll check it at the beginning of class tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Because tomorrow I want to finish this, and then I also want to go over the second kind of indirect question. That's the indirect question that uses if and whether. We haven't talked about that yet, okay? But I'm going to send you a practice to do at home for this one, okay? No problem?
No problem.
No problem.
All right, good. Good lesson today, good conversation, good work on the indirect questions. What fantastic students I have. I can't believe how lucky I am to have these wonderful students coming to class every night. Okay, so I'm going to send you a little homework worksheet, and then you're going to prove what wonderful students you are by doing it before class tomorrow. I hope. Anyway.
We're going to try our best.
Mis sueños. All right. No problem, everybody. Okay. So in a few minutes, I'll send you a paper. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Gracias a todos, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Have a good night. We'll talk to you again.
Bye.
Happy trails. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye, David.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Hasta la vista, baby.